Hey guys, Doug here again. I'm a little bit excited tonight. I spent the last few nights working up in my little workshop upstairs, my carving room, trying to come up with the perfect little owl that's easy to carve, knife only, and a little bit better than some of those 3 or 5 minute owls that you've seen out there on the internet. I think for a couple extra cuts we could make something a little bit funner than what those are, and this is what I came up with. I'll show you. These kind of guys here. Got a real funky looking guy here too. Fun colors. Tried to keep as many owlish characteristics as I could, but yeah, I kind of like them. So that's what we're going to carve tonight. It's a 1 by 1 piece of basswood. I think it's about 2 3/4 tall. So 1 by 1 by 2 3/4 basswood. And I'm gonna use, to mix it up, a little 1 3/4 drake knife. Now you say, who makes a drake knife? Drake does. It's a drake knife. Okay. So those are the two biggest questions: basswood, drake knife. All right. But I think we'll just jump right into it. And like I said, it's a fun little carving. And I like it because it just gives a little bit more than those other quick carve owls do. But for a few extra cuts, I think you'll find that a little bit more satisfying. And I'll stop talking now and we'll just get right at it. So right off the bat here, we've got this point here. This point is actually the beak, okay? We're going to carve it this way, alright? So we're going to take these two measurements, which are from the top 7/8 and 1 3/8. So we're just going to mark that 7/8 and 1 3/8. All right, that's on the front beak. Then on the sides we've got about 3/8 and 1 1/4. Go 3/8. 1 1/4. Alright, that's the same here on this side, this one, this one. In fact, this bottom one here, this one can be marked all around the back too. That's basically the transition between the head and the body, okay? And it will go across the front, but not yet. Alright, pretty straightforward. So all we're going to do right now is take this piece of wood, start on these top corners here, and we're just going to stick our knife in straight, like so, and then from the top, we're going to take that corner out of there, alright? And then from the bottom, we're going to do the same thing. And we want to go in maybe 1/4 inch, alright? See that? And same on the other side. And we'll just make sure they both look the same on each side. Alright, that's pretty close. There we go, just like that. Okay. Let's go on the top here. And just draw that angle across like so. See that? And this is, if this is the beak side, this is the back side. So we're just going to go from that line here. And let's just take the back right as close to that line as we can. We don't really have to take out the line. So we're just going back and forth. There we go. See that? Just shave that, just like that. See that? Just round it off the back from that line up. And basically we can do the same thing in the bottom too. That's just the back of the owl. So it's just not quite the center on the bottom, but a decent enough distance in, okay? And then we'll just bring that right around. So we basically rounded the bottom. Like that, alright? We got this little line here, which goes all the way around, but not through these yet. So we'll just separate the back of the head. We're going to jump all over the place on this one. We're still, this will be the back side. Alright, that's the back, head separated from the body. We can kind of bring that back down again, but we'll get to that later. Same thing as this up. Alright, anyway, there's the back roughly. Now we're going to come around to the front here. Now you can see this bottom line here, which is only 1/8 of an inch below these side lines. We're just going to come straight in on that. Fairly deep cut there, alright? We're going to come up from the bottom. Like so. See that? And basically the same thing on this way, only we're going to come down. Alright, now that's basically the size of the beak. Alright, but what we're going to do here is from center, we're going to come down, we're going to give a few degree angle down. Not too much, just enough to know that there's an angle on there. If you can see that. Just a hair, and right to the center. And we're going to make that shelf. I decided to go with the Old Faithful cartoon eyes on this one. So we need a little shelf to sit them on. See how we got that there? And then basically we're going to take that plane, and it's okay, we're going to run that right up, straight up. Alright, can you see that? Let's move the camera here, and we'll get you in closer. Okay, so you can see that drops just a couple degrees, not very much at all on the sides. Okay, so there's our beak. So now we're gonna, let's just say, not quite a 1/4 inch. You can always make it smaller. Mark on each side. Owl's beak is different, where the point will be at the bottom. So we're just going to go from the bottom like that, and the bottom like so. You see that? And I'm just going to slide that up and pop that out on both sides. That. And there's our rough beak. Let's kind of clean that up a little bit. Alright, now on the skinny side here, the beak kind of curls down, like it's pointed down. So just kind of bring that beak down, and then just kind of round that part off of here. That's pretty much it for the beak. You see that? Alright. Make sure everything's still nice and centered there for you. So now, these lines here that we left, we brought this all around here, the same line. Now we can run that through up to the beak. And that's why we didn't go through, because it goes up to the beak. And all we're doing is kind of undercutting that beak a little bit. See that? Okay. Now we can kind of keep that sharp edge on that nose, but work right up beside it. Round that out a bit. Go right up to it. Right. There you go. There's our little bit of a neck and our beak. Now let's take this line that we drew on the top here, this line, okay, just kind of bring it through the center. We've got the point here on the center, which we don't totally need as a point, but that's okay. Alright, so that's going to be the tops of our eyes. So if we're going to make our cartoony eyes, let's just go like that. Alright. This shelf that we have right now is probably a 1/2 inch. So if we kind of do the same on each end here, kind of come up. These eyes will just kind of come around. Something like that. Okay. We're going to stick our knife in. We're going to cut just on a little bit of an outer angle. Remember, we want to go deep the first time so we don't do multiple cuts and have lots of lines. Alright, do it in a couple cuts. Don't try to turn your knife fully in one cut. Alright. Alright, now all we're going to do is take that little inside corner out of our eyeball, like so. Yeah, that's our rough eyes. Now we can get in there and get a thinner, deeper little angle. Really highlight those eyes. How was that wind? Is that wind getting in the microphone? If so, that's too bad. I just wanted to get outside and do some outside carving, so hopefully it's not too bad. I think I said that last time I carved out here too. It seemed to be okay. Alright, I'm going to clean up these little pencil lines. Alright, that's where we're at. So, we can do really big owl eyes like that, or we can give them eyelids. I think we're going to go with eyelids again. Let's just draw on some eyelids. We'll just cut them in like so. Same thing, we'll just come up underneath. Now we'll go around and we'll do our little 3-corner cuts. So one cut pointed in this way, one this way, and we're just going to take out those little corners. And we'll do that all around the carving. The eyeballs, I mean. And that really just makes that eyeball pop. Alright? What we didn't do is separate it in the center here. Make one little cut down in the center. Separate his eyes, a little 45-degree on each side. I'll just pop that center out. There. Now we can see. I'm gonna bring my little brush out. I like my little shoe brush to get all little fuzzies out. But alright, there's our eyeballs. Now, little fun part here. Right here where that point is on top of the eyes, remember this line here, we're basically going to go from there and we're going to try and get right back to that line, and we can roll it to the side, kind of ending up at the same point this way too. We're just going to keep working our way towards that line. Right from that point. See what I'm doing? Just rolling that from that. Alright, now right here, let's just pretend there's a little center rise here, and let's just kind of roll our knife a little bit down and then back up, just to kind of give those little points there, a little extra oomph. Just going to come down from the center and roll it back up before we get to the outside. I'll just kind of carry that around to the back a little bit. See how we just made them really owly? Like that. Take off saw cut, and that's basically the top of the head done with the eyeballs. Alright, now let's go over here. We got the sharp point on the side still, so we can now we can roll that, just round that right off all the way around. Alright, get rid of all those points, smooth out that transition to the neck. So we want to have a nice little rounded part on each end, and we can do even more. Okay, I'm bleeding somewhere, little dot of blood. Alright, those lines there that marked where those first cuts were, let's just accentuate that and make it little points there. Alright, we can do it again, maybe not, one more underneath, just to make it a little. Bring it around the back, a little bit of the character. There we go. See that? And one more thing we want to do is I want to come up here. You see how that's straight across like that? I'm going to come up here like this. I'm going to come across like that. I'm going to pop that corner out of there. Same thing on this side. You come up like that. And that just kind of deepens that beak into the face. Make sense? Just took these little corners out of here. Give them some shape here. We want a little rounding on the sides there. You can just get rid of all these little flat spots, and we can bring the bottom down, and then around the belly. And I'm going to move the camera and get you right in there again, even closer. Alright? Okay, there we got our little owl. Not quite round in the bottom, but we got a nice taper on the front, and on the sides, and back up to the neck. So we got a nice little body on him there. So now we're going to say take the line from the side of the eye. Let's put it down here. Same here. And we're just going to bring that around, kind of the same curve as the outer edge. And we're just going to bring that around. And that's kind of the, it's not kind of, it's the, that's the wing on there. See those lines there? Take your knife, stick it in at a bit of an angle, cut it around with it. Both sides the same. I'm just going to pop that right out of there. Nice and deep, one cut. Cut that. The side, same thing. Nice and deep the first time. Right out of there. I see how we separated the wings. And we'll just kind of taper that in a bit. Take the little sharp edge that we left off. Same as the other edge. Remember, if you go up and it's starting to catch and pull, just go the other way. That should slide right down. Just gotta go with the grain. Alright. So I got, oops, I got two things we're going to do now. Let's come in the bottom, up about 1/4 inch. Let's draw a line just between the wings. See that? And then let's just do a little semicircle around here, just on the nape of the neck. Almost like as if it were a necklace. And we're going to cut that in as well, right around. Just the little nape of the neck here. Can I get that in there closer? The nape of the neck, and then we're just gonna come up to that. I just tried to add a bunch of the owl-ish elements to this guy. Give him a little feathered nape. Alright, so we got that like that. Then let's just do some little triangles and pop them out. That. Do that all the way around. Little triangles. Just a little extra character. See what I'm doing? Couple more. Now I'm just doing this really basic. You can take this as far as you want to, and by that I mean if you had a V-tool or whatever, you would make little feathers in there or whatever, but we're just going to keep this fairly simple. Just give it the quick version. Okay, I did go grab my brush. My little shoe brush, which I love to have. It really cleans up and takes the fuzzies out. Except for that one. Alright. There, that's basically the nape. Now on the bottom here, that line, we're going to come up a little bit of an angle upward. Right across. We're going to go down to it. Alright. just like we would if we were putting shoes on a little man. Alright, see that little ledge? Now let's take it, split it right in half, cut it in half, and then take a little chip out of each side until it pops right out. See that? And we just separated the claws. A little V-cut on top. And take that right out of there. Alright. There's our claws. Now, just to make sure we know they're claws, all we need to do is put 2 little V-cuts on each side. That's all you need. You're going to paint them a different color than the chest, and it will stand right out. Like these guys. Yeah. Orange. Alright. Alright. Actually, we'll bring that little corner down just a hair or two. Same thing, all these little 3/4. Anytime you're carving, it's always good to go around and put these little chips in there, and it really gives depth. But okay, you see where we are? One more thing to do. Now I can do it easier on here with my knife. So let's, I brought a piece of paper. I'll show you what I'm doing with my knife now. All I'm going to do now is, this is my owl body, this is my claws. Alright, I'm going to take the, you can't see that very good, can you? Where am I? Okay. I'm going to go 45-degree cuts, maybe a 1/4 inch apart. See these cuts? Like that. And then I'm going to do the same on the other way. Like that. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to pop out all these points. This is a real fun thing to do. And we're going to make this little pattern, okay? So it's easier for me to do it with the knife than to actually draw it on. So I'm just going to go from top right down. Okay, that's one way. You can see that. I'm going to go the other way. And I'm a little bit cocky with this right now. I can go a little bit fast, but I've done this a dozen times in the last 30 hours, so okay. Let's get a real good look. See how those cuts are in there? Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my knife in here and just kind of go across. I'm going to pop out all the upper points, and upper only, and that's going to give a real cool shadow effect. Can you see that? Just for those little belly feathers. Do the whole belly. Even these outer edges, it will just kind of finish them right up, and then just take the little corner against the wall out. The deeper you can get them in there, the more shadows they create. So anyway, let's move around quickly to the back, and basically same as we did in the front. draw our line in. We're just doing the back of the wing. All right. I'm just gonna, same thing, 2 cuts. One way, the other way. Pop them out. Round the sharp edge off. Yep. Just giving a little wing there. Side. We can take a little bit like that if you want. Alright, little flat bottom on the outer wing. Hey, who's here? Who's that guy? Alright, almost done here, Finn. As I was saying, see a little flat bottom on the wing? Right there? We can just kind of round that down so that into nothingness, right? That comes right, tapers down. Alright. There's one more thing left to do. Give them some little eyeballs here. Alright, see that? Give them some life. And that's basically that's our owl. Like I said, if you want to take a V-tool, you can go around and add some texture to the head or the feathers, or even give a little cut in here. But for now, it's done. And then you can paint them all up and be as freaky as you want. I like this. All these weird colors on here. But there's our little owl. Hope you like this little owl. I'm actually, can I say I like him? Because I really like him. I think he's a good little design, and he's easy enough to do for the beginner. So until the next video, I'll catch you later. See you guys.